What's up, guys? Justin here with TheSketchUpEssentials.com. So in today's video, we're going to talk about an awesome extension for stretching geometry without deforming it in SketchUp. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. And so I've talked about this extension on the channel before, but I think it's kind of one of those extensions I want to make sure you still know is out there because it is extremely powerful and it can make your workflow a lot better. And so I will link to it in the notes down below. It's a $15 extension from Curic, and in my opinion, it's 100% worth it. Like, it makes certain things way easier. Now, Fredo Scale has a similar tool as well, but I find this one to be a little bit more stable, and I just like the way that it works a little bit better. But there is the box stretching in Fredo Scale that can do something like this as well. But let's hop over into SketchUp and talk about what this does. And so basically, this solves a problem that we run into when we need to resize objects. Like, say I've got this window model from the 3D warehouse that I want to fit in this opening. Well, ideally, you would just be able to scale it by tapping the S key in order to fit it in the opening. But notice how when we do that, what happens is you get this deformation on the outside, right? So the exterior mullion needs to be 2¼ inches wide. Well, if I scale this like so, and then we look at the width, it's now 3 7/16 because we scaled it up by a factor of 1.5. And so we don't really want to do that. And so that's where Curic Stretch comes in. And so the way that Curic Stretch works is it allows you to select parts of your model and stretch your model based on that point. It's kind of similar to the concept of if you have a wall like this one, and then you click and move your wall like so, the geometry is going to deform. But if you do it on the red axis, it's not going to deform in a way that makes your wall less thick or anything like that, right? You're maintaining the thickness of the wall. Well, the cool thing about Curic Stretch, though, is, like, say you've got a model like this one and I click in here and I tried to do that, I could click in here and I could select this geometry and I could stretch it over, but then I also have to go back in and I have to pick up my glass and stretch it over. Then I have to pick up my interior glass and stretch it over. It's just kind of a pain, right? The way that Curic Stretch works is it allows you to select nested geometry. So let's activate Curic Stretch and take a look at this. And so to enable the tool, you can just install it and then go up into your toolbars section and activate Curic Stretch. And this actually has 3 different ways that you can stretch objects, which we'll talk about in a second. For now, we want to focus on this option right here for Select Tool. So what Select Tool is going to do is when you click on it, you're going to get this little overlay. And it's basically going to give you information about what you have selected. Well, in this case, what I want to do is I want to click and drag a box right here over this object. And so notice how this is going to tell you, okay, we've selected a number of different edges and faces in here. And so if we pick this and now we single click and move our object, notice how it's going to give you an arrow showing you the direction that you're going. Well, in this case, I want to move this over right here. Well, notice what that did is that picked up all the nested geometry inside of this group and it stretched it without deforming the rest of this. So in this case, I'm going to do the same thing over here. Notice how you can see the little green points, so they give you kind of an indicator of what you have selected, but I'm just going to stretch this over right here. And again, it just stretches that object. And so now, in this case, I want to pick up the top, but we got to be careful with the top because we might accidentally pick up the geometry contained inside of this group. Well, what I would do in this case is I would just double click into the group and then use this in order to move the geometry down. So notice how if I double click into a group, it's only selecting objects that are inside of the group that I'm in right now. Well, then I can just slide this down and this fits in the opening. So we've stretched our window without deforming it, which is exactly what we were looking for. And so there's a lot of situations where this can be valuable, right? So if you start thinking about like the different shapes that you have in here, like for example, say that I wanted to extend out parts of this pipe. And this is one area where going into a parallel projection mode in your camera can be helpful, because then if I go to like a front-on view, for example, notice how I could activate this and I don't have to worry about accidentally picking up geometry based on the perspective. So I could select this whole thing, slide it over, and notice what that's going to do is that's going to extend the geometry. So if I go into a top-down view right here and pick up that geometry, and again, remember, these are multiple different groups in here. But say I wanted to extend this whole pipe, what I could do is I could select this whole thing right here and extend it out this way. So while you can do this by double clicking into an object and then push pulling it or something like that, anytime you have things that are grouped and you have like multiple objects like this, it's going to be significantly faster to use Curic Stretch. And so another place where I absolutely love using tools like this is things like cabinets, especially cabinets like this one that have things like drawers in them, right? This has a whole bunch of nested geometry. And if I was to try to come in here and make adjustments to this, it would just be super, super time consuming. Well, with Curic Stretch, it's really easy because I can just use the select tool, select the objects right here. I'm just going to make sure I pick up everything on the end. And again, you can kind of like orbit around and see what it has selected to make sure that you have what you want. But then if I single click and move it over, so in this case, say we typed in a value of 12 inches. So you can actually tell it how far to stretch objects. So we probably don't want 12, we'll say 4 inches right here. But I could pick up the stuff on either side of this, type in a value of 4 inches, and I can resize all of that really quickly without having to deal with any of the going into groups or anything like that. Okay, and so there's two other options in here that I love, but you have to be a little bit careful with them. So first off, this one right here is actually really cool because what it does is it allows you to select things that are inside the bounds of a face. So the face bounds tool, if you activate it, what I'm going to do is I'm going to mouse over this face. Well, notice how when I mouse over this face, it's going to give me a bounding box right here. And I can type in a value for the size of the bounding box. So in this case, I'm going to tell it, okay, I want everything 8 inches out from this face to be selected so that we can move it around like so. And so what that's going to do is that allows you to select something like a surface and just pick things up based on the surface. Now, the one thing I don't like about this is it can be a little bit weird for what it actually picks up, right? Because if I select this, this is probably maybe a little bit better for things that don't have a whole bunch of nested geometry, right? Because if I slide this over, notice how it's not picking up the glass that's in there, which is something I really kind of wanted to pick up. But on the other hand, if I do it on this face, for whatever reason, it is picking up the glass. So I'm not sure what the deal is with that. I'm not sure what the filtering is in there. I don't know if I'm doing something wrong or what, but I do love that you can select the face and then say, okay, 6 inches out from this face, I want you to stretch everything. But say that you did want to pick up everything in here with like a custom location, there's also the option in here for the box bounds. So what the box bounds is going to do is it's going to let you draw a rectangle like so. And it's going to pick up everything in the rectangle right here. And so notice how this one does a little bit better job of picking up everything. And I can type in a bounds height. So in this case, I want my bounds height to be 12 inches, which is going to extend this out. Well, now if I move this whole wall, notice how everything in here gets selected and moved, right? So in this particular situation, this is actually going to allow me to extend this entire building by 3 feet using a box bounds. So this one right here, I find the selection to be a little bit twitchy, but the box bounds is really good because you can just come in here and like wherever you want, draw a box and then stretch based on whatever's inside of that box right here. So it does it really quickly without you having to do a whole bunch of additional selection work or anything like that. So if you ever need to extend a portion of a building, you can use one of those functions in order to do that. Now, the only thing you want to do with that is you want to make sure that you draw the box big enough that it's going to pick up everything. Otherwise, you might get some weird distortions. So in this case, I want to make sure that it's tall enough to pick up this vertical piece right here. But now, notice how I can extend my entire building right here without any deformation whatsoever. All right, so I'd love to hear from you in the comments down below. What do you think about Curic Stretch? Have you tried it? I just love having that conversation with you guys. Or if you have any cool use cases for it, because it's just a really cool extension. But as always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I'll catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.